My name's Dick Wilding. I'm the director of Mid-Continent Public Library. And I guess, first of all, who is Mid-Continent Public Library? I know you know it's the library. There's one at Liberty, there's one over at North Oak. But the library is a political subdivision of the state of Missouri. And we're a consolidated public library district. And we're in 3 counties, Clay, Platte, and Jackson. It's the old Kansas City School District is the Kansas City Public Library area, and North Kansas City, in Clay County, is a city library. It's a very small geographic area. You may be familiar with it, but everything else is the Mid-Continent Public Library District. How are we governed? There are 4 trustees appointed by the county commissioners or the county executive in Jackson County. There's 4 from each county, so we have a board of 12 trustees. And they meet the 3rd Tuesday of every month, at least 10 times a year is required by statute. Usually we take August and December off, but sometimes we meet anyway because of we need to get some work done. Primarily supported by property taxes. Probably 95% of our revenue comes from property taxes, and it's on if you're in our district, it's on your bill, and it's a much smaller amount than the school district. But anyway, the purpose of the meeting tonight is to inform the area residents and other interested parties exactly what's going on, or what we want to go on across the street here at the Woodneath property. In June of 2008, we closed, the library purchased the property. There's 33 acres over there, and I don't know if most of you are from this area. Hunt Midwest right now is, I guess, in charge of the homeowners association, and that area was zoned for single-family dwelling, agriculture, and or I think they call it ranching and farming. And so we asked them if they would change the restrictions to allow a library to be built there. And so they did that, except for the back 9 acres where the creek runs through, where the barns and things are. That's still restricted to the original restrictions. We had actually, I wish I could have had a public meeting a year ago. We were planning actually to be under construction by now, except with the recession. The bad news is the recession hit, and of course, property values went down, so our budget is flat. We actually have some money in a building budget, but the problem is we can't operate a new library until we do some further planning and try to figure out how to make that happen. And that's another reason, because I wanted the meeting tonight, was because you probably heard that the library bought it. You're wondering when we're going to start, and so rather than have you wonder, I thought I would just tell you what we know and where we are on the project. And also we're still, the building is in the planning stage, and I wanted to get some feedback, some ideas once you see some of the preliminary plans that we have. There's nothing cast in stone yet. So it is our intention. There were rumors coming back to us saying that we're going to tear down that house, and I wanted to tell you that we're not going to tear down that house. It is a historic landmark, and we want to maintain the historic landmark, and also to preserve. I love if you ever drove or looked down the driveway to the house, I love the look of that house right there with the trees around it, and we want to preserve that look and still have a library back there, which you'll see later. The house does need a lot of work done to it to actually just preserve the roof, the brick, tuck pointing, just to keep it from falling apart. And then the inside, to make it a public space, the floor, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. I think it'll probably have to be sprinkled by code, and the floor, I think new floors and joists and everything put in there. But anyway, that's why why I wanted the meeting tonight, to share this information with you. Let me introduce a couple. Tonight we have with us our architects. Jim Stuffelbeam is up here. They're SDA architects are out of Springfield, Missouri. They did the genealogy center for us, if any of you are familiar with that in Independence. Eric Street is back there in the back row. Also, Brad Wolf with the Kansas City Landmarks Commission is back here if there's any questions that concerns that part of it. Steve Potter, my assistant director, is here. Vicki Baker, who is with she's in charge of all the libraries in Clay and Platte County. And next to her is Tammy Parrott, who is our branch librarian at Edgerton. But we have two board members with us tonight. Marvin Weishauer, one of the 4 Clay County board members, and Brent Schondelmeyer is from Jackson County, is here tonight too. A little bit, I don't know, the history of the property. It's the old Elbridge Arnold farm. The house was built in 1855, 1856. It was, Mr. Arnold died before it was completed, and his wife had it finished and lived there during the Civil War. Clay County, there was an order number 11 that I guess a lot of the men from Clay County were Southern roots, and they went with the Confederacy. And the order number 11 did not apply to Clay County. It applied to Jackson and Cass and some others. So and it's kind of interesting because here we're sitting in a school where kids from the area go to school here. Well, one of the bedrooms in that house was used as the school because of guerrilla activity. I think the brick mason or school, which is kind of it's over by Liberty, by Kings Highway there and Stewart Road, that area. I think the school district may still own it. There was a school over there, and so they closed that one down, and they went to school in that house during the Civil War. I think I got some notes here. After the name Woodneath really came because of the woods surrounding, or it's believed to receive its name during the ownership and occupancy of a Mr. Presley Moore from 1870 to 1900, and probably because of the wooded area around it. And then I have to skip because I don't have a whole lot from 1900, but 1937 the Crouch family bought it, and it was a Crouch dairy farm, and actually it has been in their family. And the library was looking for property for a genealogy center, and we had our criteria that it needed to be close to a couple roads, major roads, highways, and we looked at the property for that, but we thought it was better off of Highway 70 in Independence. But